Happy Friday, ambitious readers. Welcome back to another edition of Reading Ambitiously. Next week is our 100th edition of Reading Ambitiously. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. But on the way there, we've got a really big idea in store for you. So let's go ahead and jump right into this week's big idea. Not all software is created equally. But right now, the stock market is trying to reprice roughly $3 trillion worth of software as if it were. And the market shorthand for this is that vibe coding kills software. And there may be some truth inside of that fear, as evidenced by my last couple editions of Reading Ambitiously. But what vibe coding really does is it compresses software creation into natural language. It makes generating code much cheaper. Thus, substitutions get easier to build. But not all software is created equally. Some software is nice to have. It makes our lives a little bit easier. It has that one feature that we needed to have that the other system doesn't. This is how we wind up with 2, 3, or 4 CRM systems. But other software, it's needed. It's the software we use to run the business. We rely on it. So the question that we should all be asking is, how do you tell the difference? If the cost of writing code is going to approach zero, where are the moats going to be in this new world? Well, I've been thinking a lot about that. And there are 5 questions to ask that might give us the answers. The first question is, where does the company keep the official truth? When finance, legal, compliance, or a customer challenges something, which system is the first system you log into? Where is the final answer or the ground truth? The second question answer is, which system is trusted to take action? What has the keys to do the real work? To approve, release, provision, pay, book, ship. The third question is, what happens if we rip this thing out? I'm not talking about migrating the data. I'm talking about our ability to still run the business after it's gone. And what breaks on day 2 once it is gone? The fourth question is, where do we actually start our work? What is the default place teams go in the first 15 minutes of their day to queue things up, to start a new workflow? What systems are they living inside of? And finally, fifth, when it's wrong, how expensive is wrong? Does failure show up fast and get contained, or does it pollute the business and surface weeks later? I think that with this checklist applied, it can help all of us start to separate software that is easy to recreate with the help of AI from software that is really going to be hard to replace. And this is important because industries tend to move in cycles. First, you win by owning the whole stack because coordination is hard in the beginning. Then, the stack breaks into layers and specialists flourish. But the coordination of all of those layers becomes hard again. And the middle, it gets commoditized. And what happens is that value concentrates at the ends. Big platforms on one side, deep specialists on the other. In mature markets, a barbell forms. I think software is approaching this phase in the cycle. And something very similar happened right before cloud showed up. Oracle ran the consolidation playbook, buying up all the pre-cloud market leaders in software, including PeopleSoft, Sun Microsystems, and Siebel. And what Larry and team were doing was moat construction through getting bigger. Oracle pulled all of that truth into a single footprint. And once it owned the main systems of record and the workflows, what did they do? They centralized procurement, renewals. They bundled all of this stuff into enterprise agreements, and they let compounding handle the rest. AI is accelerating this same shape in software, and it's going to flood the middle with very plausible substitutes because the code is cheaper and the interfaces are easy to copy. And what's going to happen is that value in SaaS is going to concentrate at the ends of the barbell. On one end will be the systems that hold ground truth and are trusted to take action. And on the other, the specialists that handle the messy parts of the domain, where mostly right is not enough. The power of this week's big idea is that the middle is going to be a very tough place to be. There are going to be more clones, more bundling, more consolidation, less pricing power. it is going to be very dangerous to be in the middle. Software that is neither the source of truth nor trusted to act, and certainly not protected by hard-earned expertise. AI is not killing software, but it is forcing a natural Darwinian-like evolution, and we have seen it before. And the debate is no longer whether we can build things. All of those things are going to get built. And if you're a software company building it, or you're thinking about vibe coding an alternative to what you have today, you should ask the moat question. Is this the system that owns truth, where we decide who's allowed to act and actually take that action? What breaks if we switch? What happens if the data in here is wrong? If our regulators call, is this the system we're looking at? In a software-abundant world, the answers to those questions are ultimately, in my opinion, going to decide who is going to compound, who is going to get commoditized in that middle, and who may be getting acquired. We'll be back with you again next week for the 100th edition of Reading Ambitiously. I can't wait for that. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please do take care of each other.